All right, who wants to tell their story? 514-790-0800 to get on the docket with traffic court for this week. If you've recently seen those blue and red lights behind you and you just got dinged, we want to hear about your case. We will try and help you out, give you some advice, put you down the right path. If you got, this could be a recent ticket. Let me tell you something. This week, it's school zones. This week, I've been seeing heavy police presence in NDG going around the schools. We were doing it this week. I was driving with Olivia and our kid Wolfie in the back, and lo and behold, school zone, and a guy has the radar gun. A police officer had the radar gun and was pointing at everyone. I think I was doing 35, 36, 37 kilometers per hour in the 30 zone. They didn't pull me over. And, it was the Tesla autopilot that was doing the driving. So I was at 37. It was a little bit over the speed limit, didn't get pulled over, but I saw them doing that operation. If you got a ticket of late, I want to hear the story. I want to know how it happened, why it happened, and we'll try and help you out. We will also take your old stories. If you've got a legendary ticket story you want to tell, give me a call right now. 514-790-0800. Now, before we get there, as I wait for you to call in, I'll tell you about my first doozy of a ticket. Let me take you back to the spring of 2003. Now, I was working for, I'm at Concordia. I'm in the journalism program at Concordia. I'm doing full-time studies, but I'm also working for the Expos, the Montreal Expos at the time. And it was my second year because I started in 2002. So 2003 rolls around. My boss, Monique Giroux, says, Elias, if you come down to spring training, we don't have the resources to provide for you. But if you come down to spring training, you can work. We'll pay you. So I said, oh, geez, I got to do this, right? So I come up with a plan. I drive to spring training, right? I drive from Montreal to Florida. The Expos at the time were in Vieira, near the Space Coast. So I drive to Florida, and that's a long drive. Solo guy driving there, no problems, no issues going the way back down. And then I do 2 weeks of spring training, and then I come back up, and I got to drive back up. And by the way, shout out to the great guys at the Expos that let me stay with them for free over those 2 weeks. So I'm driving back. And I actually gave a lift to my buddy's dad. My buddy, Rob McDonald, who was the traveling secretary for the Expos at the time. His dad was at spring training, lives in New Jersey. And he said, hey, you're driving back up north. I said, yeah. Can you drive my dad? I said, yeah, no problem. So I drove my buddy's dad to New Jersey. And then I continued my trip up north to Montreal. And I'm going through New York State. And I've been driving. It's so late. I was tired. And I was like, I just want to get home. So I was doing 90 miles per hour on the highway, 90 miles per hour. And then what happens? New York State Trooper, my first ticket. Let me tell you, that scared me straight. Now, I've gotten 2 other speeding tickets in my life, one in Ontario and one in Quebec. So it's very interesting. I've never duplicated a ticket in a jurisdiction, but there's my ticket in New York State. Very young, paid the fine, moved on. All right, I've got Claudia, Adam, and Edison on the lines waiting to get in. Let's start off with Claudia. Hi, Claudia.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. You have a good news story here?
Yes, I do,
Tell
sir.
us.
I was heading towards St. Patrick to go to LaSalle, and the light was red. I wanted to turn right. There were absolutely no cars, and I said to myself, okay, this is so long, I'm going to turn right. And all of a sudden, I see the lights behind me, and I stop in front of a garage, and the cop comes to me, and he says, do you know why I'm stopping you? And I go, no. He says, you turned on a red light. And I said, yeah, it's the city center, I'm allowed. He said, no. He said, this is the island of Montreal, you do not turn right on a red. So he goes with my papers into his car. He comes back and he says, do you know what you deserve? You deserve a $230 ticket. But he says, I'm going to give you a chance. He says, I will not give you a ticket today.
Wow.
And I started crying. So I get out of the car when they left, and the mechanics in the garage, they say, what did those cops do to you? And I tell them the story, and they couldn't believe it.
Now, Claudia, why do you think the officer took pity on you on that day?
You know what? I have absolutely... He told me I was confused with my laws.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, when you gave that excuse, you knew that wasn't. You were just saying that, right? But you knew that you weren't allowed to turn right on red in the island of Montreal, right?
I really, I wasn't sure at that time.
Okay.
I really wasn't sure.
Now, Claudia, listen, I'm just listening to your voice. Your voice is mellifluous, which means it's sweet sounding. Is it possible that you just, you know what, you charmed them? The sweet voice, the sweet looks, most likely. It's radio, but I'm going to assume you're attractive. Do you think you just charmed the officer with the sweet smile, a nice voice, and your looks?
Oh, there was no smile. There was no smile. I was in a state of panic.
All right. Well, Claudia, listen, things worked out for you. I'm happy that happened.
So there are some very nice cops out there.
You know what? It's a good point because that's very true. Claudia, thank you for sharing your story on Traffic Court. I appreciate it.
Bye. Happy weekend.
You too. Happy whatever you call it on Monday.
You.
Okay. Let me go to Adam on the line. Hey, Adam.
Hey, this is a story from 20 years ago. Basically, I was driving a heavy modified Civic back in the day.
Oh boy, did you take that to the track? Your heavy modified Civic? What would you do with that?
No, nothing like that. It was just mainly looks, loud exhaust. So I was always used to being pulled over because of tints, sound system, and whatever. Mm-hmm. This night was like 3-4 in the morning. It was March, and I'm driving on Saint Jacques. I'm driving a friend's home, and basically I drive by a cop. He pulls a U-turn. I'm like, okay, here we go. Didn't do anything. But this time he just followed me for like maybe 10, 15 minutes. Nothing. Just followed me. I did all my stops, everything. I get to Villemard, and then I'm on a one-way street. And the cop that was following me stopped, but put his lights on, blocked the street. My friend was like, look. I look up. There's a cop coming in the wrong direction with its lights on.
Oh, my God.
And then he's like, I stop, and we're in the middle of the street, and my friend gets out of the car, and then the another cop comes from behind. They all get out with their guns drawn, tell me to get out of the car.
Whoa.
I was like, what the heck, But they said there was a warrant for my arrest and everything like that, and I was like, you got the wrong person. Ends up being they were looking for somebody who had the exact same name for me, but different address.
Oh.
And he lived in Chateauguay, but back then I had to wait 45 minutes for another cop to come with a picture to find me, okay, it's not the guy we're looking for.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, guns drawn on me, and I was like, I was 18, I was terrified. And all they said was, oh, sorry about that.
Oh, jeez.
If they had the address, they knew where the guy lived, versus my address in Côte-Saint-Luc versus the guy in the South Shore.
Yeah.
Let alone it was he was a boxer, and he was wanted for domestic violence, and yeah, but
oh my God! Now,
ever since then, I can't stand cops.
Oh well, I can imagine having guns drawn at you for no reason would be a terrible situation. Now, Adam, what do you drive today?
Today, a Ford Edge, nothing special.
Adam? Do you ever look in the mirror and say, "What happened to me? I used to be in a souped-up Civic, and now I'm in a Ford Edge."
Yeah, I miss those days. Oh, there's Surfait Quebec right here.
Oh boy! Okay. All right, hey, they're not pulling you over, right? They're not pulling you over.
No. Earpiece. I'm driving my work car. I learned my lesson from the amount of tickets I had back in the day.
Oh boy! All right, Adam. Stay safe. Thanks very much for the call on this story. Great
Enjoy
story.
The long weekend.
Traffic Court. Elias Makos considers your case on CJAD 800.
All right, you still got time to get on the docket here with your traffic court cases, parking, speeding, moving violation, any reason the police may have pulled you over. Hey, we've even gotten jaywalking tickets on traffic court, so if you've recently been dinged, we want to hear about it. I'm going to start off in this half with George, who is in Pierrefonds. Hi, George.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, George. What kind of car are you driving?
Actually, I'm in a BMW i3 hybrid.
Oh my! It's a hybrid or it's an electric? The i3.
It's the smallest first BMW car with a little motorcycle engine in the trunk that helps me out if I run out of juice.
Oh, I love that. So, how long you had that car?
A year exactly.
Okay, and you love it?
But it's a 10-year-old car. I find the range is pretty limited in electric, but with the gas tank, it's not a problem.
You must be enjoying that with the price of gas, putt-putting around town?
Absolutely. I charge it on my 110 volt at home, and I'm good.
Oh, that's great. How long does it take to charge on a 110?
Oh, an eternity. Just let me say
that. All right. So were you in this car? It says here you almost got dinged. Tell me the story.
I was at work. I worked for a large pharmacy here in Pierrefonds. I deliver the medications to people in their homes. And I was about to turn right from Pierrefonds Boulevard onto Jacques Bizarre, going up the hill towards the south. And there's a bus shelter on the corner at the gas station with a whole bunch of hedges around it, of shrubs. And I just took out my phone for 20 seconds to check exactly where was the house I was going to.
Yeah.
And I just looked at the shape of the streets. I said, okay, I'm going there. And as I put my phone back in my pocket, I get a knock on my passenger's window.
Oh, boy.
And I look up. There's a cop looking in at me. He'd stepped out of the bushes and said, and I rolled down my window, and he said, what do you have in your hands? And I showed him my two empty hands because my phone was in my pocket, and he backed off. But that's the closest I ever came to getting a $500 fine.
First things first, he came out of the bushes. That's the...
Absolutely.
Okay, but you dodged...
And I was third in line at the traffic light. I wasn't even at the first in line.
Well, George, listen, here's what I'm going to say. A, you're lucky. So he didn't give you a ticket, right? He just, because you could show nothing in your hands, he didn't give you a ticket.
Exactly. He was just 2 seconds too slow.
You know, this is the thing, George, and I'm still seeing it every time I'm driving on highways. And it happened the other day. I was driving back home. I'm on the Ville-Marie, and Ville-Marie headed west. And left lane. Now, listen, in Quebec, if it's a 70 zone, there are no fast lanes, okay? But I got to say something. It's annoying when the people in the left lane in a 70 zone aren't going that fast. So I'm going, and, you know, it's the Ville-Marie. 90 is what people will do, okay? But this guy is doing under 65. I think he was doing like 63 in the left lane. I was like, what the heck is going on here, right?
He wanted to get rear-ended.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, lo and behold, because I had to go around, it was so slow, it was dangerous, and I went around him, and he's on his cell phone. He's looking for directions. That's what he was doing, you know, on the Ville-Marie in the left lane.
In my defense, Elias, I have to say, before and since, I never look at my phone when I'm moving. I was stopped third in line at a traffic light, so I figured I'll take a chance. And my goodness, I squeaked by.
And you got to get one of those holders, George, like the cell phone holder. They make those. You know they exist. You plop your phone there.
But you're still not allowed to touch it even if it's in the holder.
Yeah, but it'll give you those directions, George. Right? Do you have a map in your work car? Do you have a map?
No, the map's in my head. I just need to check now and then.
Hey, George, what's your accent? You have a wonderful accent. What is that?
I'm a Scottish accent.
Oh, I love it, George. George,
now I'm going to get 2 or 3 friends of mine saying, "Hey, I heard you on CJAD this morning."
I love it. Well, that always happens, right? It's step 1 on getting famous is call into CJAD. George, thanks very much for your time, your call, and a happy long weekend.
Thank you, and you too.
All right, there's George in Pierrefonds, and you know, that's nice, though. We got a couple of calls this week about people that did not get a ticket. One, because they had a pretty decent defense, and another person because of a kind cop. On the text line here, a couple of things. I do have a note here. Actually, why does someone need to wear a seatbelt, but cyclists don't need to wear a helmet? Seatbelts are garbage, and it doesn't put anyone in danger. Well, it puts you in danger, and it makes me pay for more things when you end up in the hospital, by the way, and we have a public health care system. And if you're so convinced that you don't need to wear a seatbelt, I tell you, move to New Hampshire, 18 and over, you don't need to wear a seatbelt. And Jay writes me this on the text line. Ticket, I got stopped for a stop sign 2 weeks ago. I said I watched all of 19.2, and I feel for you and the job. The police officer laughed and let me go. There you go. That's how Jay got out of a ticket, by saying he watches the TV series 19.2. That's the cop drama, by the way, 19.2. Thank you for that note, Jay.